How do you justify childcare when it's so expensive? Have you picked a wedding dress? How much have you earned on YouTube this year? Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. My name is Shan from HomeWithShan over on Instagram. I post loads of content on YouTube and on Instagram, motherhood related, just life related. Yeah, I like to keep you guys updated with stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys are like my support system right now because my life is a mess. It feels like there's so much going on that I thought I would do a little Q&A video with you guys. So I was just looking at the questions and there are so many, guys. Like, you guys really ask so many questions and they're all about like different things. Oh my god, look how many questions there are. I literally can't believe it. They're all about different subjects and stuff because I've got quite a lot going on at the moment, so I thought I would split them up into categories, and I'm going to do timestamps in the video, so down below you can see the different categories, and I'm just going to answer like 3 questions, the 3 most popular questions from each category. So I think that will make sure that this video isn't like 3 hours long. I've selected 3 questions from all of those categories, and I'm going to start with the first one, which was Ash going away, being abroad obviously with the military, and me being sort of a solo parent as it were at the moment. First things first, I wanted to say thank you because so many of you didn't even ask a question. You were just saying that I hope you're okay, because I haven't been shy about the fact that it's hard. It's so hard, and you guys have been so supportive and so lovely to me and George, and I just cannot thank you guys enough. I'm okay, I'm getting through it. It is just hard, but sharing things with you and having your support literally means everything to me. So just having that support system with you guys is getting me through this, I can't lie. But the first proper question that I wanted to answer was, how do you cope with Ash being away so much? You're doing a great job, by the way. Thank you so much. I genuinely don't feel like that's the case sometimes, but to be honest, in terms of coping, like, I've done it before with Ash being away, but I haven't done it with a baby for this period of time. Like, he's been away 2 weeks at a time or like 3 weeks at a time, but he's never been away for like, he's away for 4 months this time, all in one go, and he's not back until just before Christmas. So yeah, it's different. It's a different kettle of fish, I think, because having George, as well as everything else that's going on in my life, being back at work, moving house, planning a wedding on my own is a lot. But in terms of coping, like, the only thing that I can do is to cut myself some slack, which I don't do often enough. Cut myself some slack, and if everything's not perfect all the time, then realise it doesn't matter. Also get some time for myself, so when George is asleep, instead of cleaning the house, instead of getting on top of all of those things, yes, those things are important in my life, but actually taking some time to have some self-care, maybe wash my hair, maybe have a bath, maybe watch a YouTube video, just some like downtime for myself is also really important. And 3, making sure that I keep my mindset clear in that it's not forever. This isn't my life forever. We get through the next 3.5 months now it is, and we can do it. So, and then once it's over, it's over. And actually, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be one of the last times that Ash goes away after this deployment. So hopefully, yeah, that is just what like my mindset is like, I guess. The next one was fairly similar, and it was just, how are you? You are doing so well being on your own, and George is such a lucky boy. Honestly guys, like, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that so much, because it does feel like I'm drowning sometimes. It feels like everything's on top of me, but when I sit down and I feel like, actually no, I need to just get through this and then everything will be okay. And your guys' support, like I keep saying, is just everything. So I am okay. I am okay, I promise. I have really down days that everything's just going wrong and I don't think I'm doing anything right, but then other days I feel like I'm bossing it. So yeah, it's just, ask me on a different day and I'll probably say something different, but I am okay. I am getting through it, and yeah, it could be a hell of a lot worse. So I'm just counting my blessings. I'm very grateful for everything that I've had. I'm very grateful for all of the opportunities that I've got, and the opportunity to move back home and everything is just like, I cannot believe my luck. So I am very grateful, but obviously I do have my down days. Question 3 is, I'm a first-time mum with a 4-week-old and my husband is in the military too. He's away Monday to Friday. Any solo parenting tips? So what I would say is, firstly, that's really hard, and like I said, to cut yourself as much slack as possible because it's a very difficult job. I guess something quite important for me is to get ahead the night before, so do things like maybe prep a breakfast, or if you've got to do like a packed lunch or something. I've got to do packed lunches for my little boy who goes to childcare, so I do that in the evening, and then in the morning all I have to do is get him ready and leave. I guess if you've got a 4-week-old, then that's probably not what you're going to be doing. I would say use your time wisely, spend as much of it in your like newborn bubble as possible. Don't do anything while the baby is asleep that you can do when they're awake. So for example, if you're waiting for them to have a nap before you do like the washing up, or putting the washing, like the hanging the washing up outside or something like that, then don't wait for them to be asleep to do that, because when they're asleep, it's your time. It's your time to have a shower, it's your time to breathe, it's your time to have a hot cup of tea. It's not your time to be doing then all the housework, because then you just find yourself never stopping. So I would say that's probably like my biggest tip. But my second biggest tip is to do things like go out, see people. Don't like keep yourself in a cocoon, because I am very bad at this. Like sometimes if I'm having a bad day or baby is upset or something like that, then I do just like stay in and don't want to go out, and I don't want to go and do anything because it seems like more hassle than it's worth. But I promise you, getting out of the house, seeing other humans, even if it's like, I guess your little one's probably a little bit too young to go to soft play, but George loves a soft play. But even if it was like going for a walk, if it's not raining or something, going out for a walk and just going to the park, even if they're like too little to go on swings and stuff, just going outside, getting that breather, trust me, you will not regret it. The next category was going back to work / childcare. So the first question was, how was going back to work? I'm dreading going back. I feel like I'll be missing my arm without my son. And I literally feel that's so hard, because my first, I would say even now, like I've been back at work for maybe 6 weeks. It's hard. Like I am not going to sugarcoat that. It is really hard. At least I found it hard. I know that some people don't find it as hard. It's really strange because every baby is so different. Like with George, he is so independent. He literally didn't even care that I left. He was so happy. It was just something in me that I was really upset about, because it was like the new stage in our life that he's not going to be with me every single day and I've got to go back to work, and it's like that time that we had together is completely over. It will be fine. It will be fine. But it just does not seem like that at the time at all. I actually did a couple of videos of when George was starting childcare, and the day that I went back to work, the day that he first did his like whole day in childcare, I was a mess, and I'll show you the video. I'll link it down below as well. Like I was crying so much. I was so upset. I watched it back and I don't have those emotions anymore about it. So it does pass. It does pass. Like I still don't love it. I don't love handing him over for the day and logging onto a laptop and doing that instead of being with my son. I don't love that, but needs must. I have to go to work in order to pay my bills and my mortgage. Like it is just what it is. It is just grown up life. Every working mum has always had to do that, so I kind of just have to crack on and do it. But like I said in that video, I was so emotional, I was so upset, and now I'm not. So it does get better, it just really does take some time. The second question in the childcare category was, how do you justify childcare when it's so expensive? I'm stuck as I want space, but financially not worth it. And like, let me tell you, I did not realise how expensive childcare was until I started looking at it. And I did a video actually to show exactly how much childcare costs will be for myself, whether we chose a nursery or we chose a childminder. Bear in mind that at the moment we're in like the Midlands of England, so the cost will be significantly different across the country. We're actually moving back to the south of England, and childcare costs have gone up because obviously in the south things are more expensive. The further up you go in the country, it tends to be less expensive. But yeah, so it is really expensive, I get that. For us personally, with my job and my partner's job, it did make financial sense. Like if I didn't work and had George with me all the time, financially we'd be much worse off, and we would have to sell our house. We would not be able to afford to pay the mortgage and all of the other bills and expenses that we had going out. If I'd had the job that I had 5 years ago and tried to do that, it would not be financially worth it. So it really does depend. Like, it really is such a personal thing. Whatever your circumstances are, just do what is best for you, your family, your sanity, work out your finances. It is really difficult and it's such a minefield, but I have got a video, like I said, about childcare costs and like the process that I used in order to figure out what we're eligible for in terms of funding and all that kind of stuff. So definitely check that video out. I will link it down below. Third question was, would you recommend a childminder over a nursery? And for you, what are the pros and cons of each? I, again, mentioned the pros and cons in that finance video, the childcare costs video that I did. That was obviously before George went into childcare. So I had like my finance head on. I didn't really have my like real life head on. I guess you just don't really know until you're doing it. For me, like the pros of, we went for a childminder in the end, and the pros of having a childminder for me is like you get a really personal service, like a much smaller group of kids. I love that. I love all of the sides of childminding. Obviously it's a lot more financially affordable, which is amazing. I love the fact that he is in a childminders at the moment. The big downside with that is if they are sick or unavailable, or your baby is sick, like they cannot go to childcare. The childcare provider is shut. So you are responsible for them, and obviously with me being at home on my own trying to work, add a 1-year-old in the mix, it really doesn't go. It really is a difficult struggle, and I'm smiling about it, but trust me, I was not smiling about it the other morning. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know. Had a bit of a breakdown, but I'm back, it's fine. My work are so lovely about everything and they completely understand. A lot of them have children themselves and understand the difficulties with childcare and things. That for me is the biggest downside, and whilst I'm on my own and I've got to deal with that on my own and I've got to work, I can't do that. So when we move, we are going to go to a nursery. For me, the pros of a nursery are it's more reliable. Obviously, I get it. If your baby is sick, they can't go. I get that. There's nothing that anyone can do about that. But if someone that works at the nursery is sick, they just don't go to work and then everyone else is there. So it's actually okay. So it's a little bit more consistent, I guess, and a little bit more reliable. Obviously, it's a lot more expensive, like a lot more expensive. And again, I'll link to that childcare cost video down below because it really highlights how much more expensive it is. The one that we're going to go to at the end of the month / beginning of next month when we move is a lot more expensive than the one that I was referring to in the video because it's obviously down south. Those are my main pros and cons. It's about how much it costs and the reliability, and obviously how good the nursery are and the staff are and everything, but I have to say, like, they are really, really good. All of the ones that I've spoken to and seen are amazing. It's just very expensive. Next category is moving. So the first question that I've got this one a lot actually, was, are you going to be doing the whole move with me vlog and maybe decorating thing? So I definitely am going to try to vlog as much as I possibly can, the moving process and everything. Obviously, as you can imagine, I'm doing it on my own. I've got a baby. We're in military housing as well, so like there's the added complexity with that. We have actually selected a packing and moving service, so hopefully I'll be able to vlog in and around that, but I don't really want to be vlogging like random people and putting them on the internet, so obviously I'll have to be careful of that. So I will try and vlog as much as possible in and around all of that. I'm hoping to do like one big video of like, we're moving, it's moving day, and then like it's gonna be like a 2 or 3 day process. But I'm really excited to share that with you because, and I'll also do like a little tour of this house, which I've never actually done on YouTube. I've done it on my stories on Instagram, on my highlights. I've done a little empty house tour of this house, but on my YouTube channel, it must have been over a year ago now, I did a house tour of the house that we're moving back into. So if you wanted to be nosy and check that one out, my camera work is a little bit shaky, I'm not gonna lie, but if you're interested to see where we're going to be moving, then that is the video for you. The second question is, do you think you'll ever move back into army housing in the future? And the answer is a straight up no, absolutely not. I'm never ever ever going to move back into army housing. Like, the thing is, obviously if your partner's like moving around and stuff, you want to stay with them and you want to live wherever they live, and you can't just be buying and selling houses every 2 years because that's how often roughly that they move. But I know for a fact that we will never ever live in army housing again. We will work around it somehow, and you know, you never know, Ash might leave the army and we might never have to do that again. Who knows? The third question is, when are you moving? And I think I might have said already, but we are moving at the end of September, And then, so yeah, from the beginning of October, we will be in our new house, and I'll have like my own bedroom back that I really miss. Oh my gosh, my kitchen. I keep just thinking about my kitchen that I left behind, and I cannot wait. The third category was the wedding. So in the wedding category, we had, do you have a wedding checklist or budget planner you could share? And I actually do. I have a entire video about that on my channel, which I will link down below. And in that video, it also links to my Etsy page, where I have 2 budget planners. I've got a general budget planner, like an annual budget planner that is like selling so quickly on there, because a few people have shared it on Instagram and people love it, which I'm so grateful for. The second budget planner is actually a wedding budget planner, so it goes through like my checklist of everything that I'm doing for the wedding, like in order of the months that you'd have to do it all, and then also a spreadsheet that shares exactly like what you would have to spend money on. And yeah, so that is all on my YouTube channel. I'll link that down below the video, and in that is a link to my Etsy page as well, so you can go and check out if you are budgeting for a wedding. Question 2 was, when do you get married? And I love watching your journey. Thank you so much. We are getting married next year. I'm not going to be too specific. It's next summer-ish. Question number 3 was, have you picked a wedding dress? And I have been wedding dress shopping 3 times now, and I still can't decide. The thing is, I tried on a dress the first time I went shopping. I tried the same dress on the second time I went shopping, and I loved it. I loved this one dress both times, but I really want the dress to be like perfect, and I have a bit of a commitment issue with it, I'm not gonna lie, and it's a hell of a lot of money to spend on a wedding dress. I am gonna keep looking. I've got a fair few months before the wedding. I know I'm cutting that quite fine, but actually guys, I'm not gonna lie, I've got so much else on my mind. The wedding dress and the wedding is like the last thing on my brain. Next category was baby questions, and there were just like a fair amount of baby related questions, obviously because I'm a motherhood content creator, but I just wanted to answer like the top 3 that came up. And the first one that came up loads was, what age did you move George into his own room, and did you feel guilty? So on this, I'm sat in his room right now, which he's obviously not in. We moved George into his own room when he was just before 6 months old. I did feel a bit guilty, but I also knew that he was staying in our bedroom and we would wake him up, we would disturb him constantly, and it was just not working. And he already napped in his bedroom for nap times, and we had like the baby monitor on him and stuff, so we knew that he would sleep in that cot because we did it like a transition. So for nap times we'd put him in here, and then for bedtime we would have him in our bedroom with us. But then eventually we just popped him in here for night times as well, and we never ever looked back. The only times that he's ever come into our bedroom since then, into our bed, has been when he's been sick. Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt, I didn't feel guilty, like he was fine. Again, I just felt like a bit emotional about it because again, it's a new stage in their life. The second question in the baby category was, I'm due to have my baby any day now. I'm planning to bottle feed. Any must-haves / tips? And I love this question because I feel like there's not a lot online about bottle feeding tips and hacks and stuff. And if you guys are interested, let me know down below. I would love to do a video about bottle feeding and the tips and the hacks and stuff like that I've learned, because I was always quite scared to do a video like that because of backlash and hate, because like breast is best and everything, but I just don't care anymore. I just want to help anyone else that chooses to not breastfeed. Like, it's your choice. I do not see anything wrong with bottle feeding. I do not see anything wrong with breastfeeding. You do you. But if you guys want a video on that, anything that I've learned from bottle feeding from the get-go, then let me know and I will do a video down below. But I would say for my must-haves would definitely be MAM bottles. MAM bottles are so good. Yes, there are lots of parts to them, but they are self-sterilising. You can pop them in the microwave to sterilise them, which is so good on the go. They are anti-colic and everything. They're so good. Second one for me is the Tommy Tippy prep machine. I know that's a little bit controversial, but guys, for the night feeds, like, I tell you what, it's so good. Plus it makes it to the perfect temperature, so you never have to worry about that. It's so much more convenient than using the kettle and things. I would also say Milton sterilising tablets are a massive winner for me. I would just get a cold water steriliser, pop the Milton sterilising tablet in along with all the bottles and fill it up with cold water. Leave it for, I think it's like 20 minutes, and then all the bottles in there are sterilised for 24 hours. So that is a winner for me. I've got my must-have video and I literally spoke about everything that I used when he was a newborn. So my must-haves video for newborn baby babies. I've got a must-have video for 3 to 6 month olds, and I've got a must-have video for, I think it's like 6 to 9 month olds, or 6 months plus maybe, so I'll pop all of those down below as well. The last question in this category was, what were the best presents you got for George for his birthday? He's been loving all of the products that I got him from Little Dutch. We've got him some toy cars, he got a guitar, he got a little laptop, like he absolutely loves them. What I would do is go on to Little Dutch, or go on to Scandiborn is actually the website that I used. Go on to Scandiborn, type in Little Dutch, or like filter it for Little Dutch toys, and there are so many really adorable toys. They're all like wooden and Scandi vibes, and George loves them so much, and they look nice. So I would say anything from there basically. The last 3 questions are about YouTube, and the first question, these are actually quite juicy, I love these questions. So the first question is, how did you start your Insta page / YouTube? Is it constant work to maintain your Instagram, etc.? And the answer to the first part is, how did I start it? I just started it. I started as a home page, like a home account, because I was decorating the house and stuff, my old house that I'm moving back into. And then eventually, obviously, I became pregnant and I started sharing pregnancy content. And when I got to 10,000 followers on Instagram is when I started my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. And again, I did like the first 3 videos or so, I think, were like home related, and I did share a bit about that, but then I kind of changed it more into motherhood, pregnancy, lifestyle, and like the content that I do now. So that's how I started it, I guess, and it grew and grew and grew, and I just cannot believe where it's got to. Like I'm so grateful, and I would love for one day for this to be my full-time job, but I'm just not there yet. And yeah, the other answer to, is it constant work? Yeah, it is. It's constant work, but it's constant work that I really love, so it doesn't always feel like work, if that makes sense. But like I said, I would love for this to be my full-time job, and then I could really concentrate on creating really good content, and not just like squeezing in a video between nap times or on my lunch break like I am now. The second question was, what are you doing with the extra money from YouTube, etc.? And the answer to that is actually really simple. I just don't touch it. Well, either I don't touch it or I invest it. So it's now HomeWithShan Limited, like I am a limited company and stuff. So I've got a business account, all of my like funds and everything go straight into my business account. It doesn't come into my current account. I don't spend the money. I basically use that money to, like, if I needed to buy a new camera, I would use that money to do that. But generally I don't touch it, I invest the money, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got a video on investing and stuff like that if you're interested as well. I've got like a whole playlist on like money, budgeting, that kind of thing, and it will be within that playlist. But I just don't touch the money at the moment because I have got my well, it's not full-time job, it's a 4-day-a-week job now, and I do use that money to survive on, pay my bills, all that kind of stuff. And obviously that's like a self-employed side hustle kind of thing. And say for example, if I wanted to buy another house and get another mortgage, I don't have enough background on the self-employed side of things to be able to use that for a mortgage. So that is why I'm keeping my full-time job until we move, until we buy another house at least, and then maybe one day we can move into the area of, this will be my full-time job, who knows? And the last question, which I think is my favourite question from all of this, is how much have you earned on YouTube this year? And I don't actually know the answer to that, but I can go onto my YouTube studio and I can see what like the estimated revenue is. So this doesn't include any money that I've got from sponsorships. If I've done like a hashtag ad on Instagram or on YouTube, then that's like extra. So the way that we get paid on YouTube, just from YouTube, is, so every time I upload, I will make a bit of money from a video. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's really not a lot, but you know the ads that come up and you can press in the corner, skip ad? Basically, if you skip the ad, I still get a little bit of money, but not a lot. If you watch the ad, or if you like don't skip it, then it like, I get the money, I get more money for it basically. So I can just go onto my revenue and it comes up in dollars for some reason. So if I do from the last 365 days in dollars, and you guys are gonna be, I'm shocked by this. I'm actually shocked at how much this is. In dollars, don't forget, so it's less in pounds, but I've made $10,686 in the last 365 days. Which is, can you see that? Which is absolutely mad. So it obviously started from here and then it has made its way up very nicely, and yeah, that's amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. The fact in the last year I've made $10,000, whatever that is in pounds, maybe £8,000, is insane. And obviously with sponsorships and other things, I do make a little bit more money on those things as well. So yeah, my business is growing and I'm absolutely loving it. One day, if I can get double that, one day, let's just like sack the job in, but it's not anytime soon. And this is just something I do for fun at the moment. I love that because actually there's no like pressure. All of that is just extra like security blanket for me and my family. So I'm just so grateful that I get to do it. But anyway guys, that is everything for today's Q&A. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have gone over my lunch break by 5 minutes, so I need to get back to work now. But I will love you and leave you and see you in the next one. Bye.
'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.